Where's Grandma? I don't think she's home. I don't think she's home. Mom? Grandma's not home. Why do you get excited for a reason? My eyebrow stuff's supposed to come, but I don't know if it's coming. FedEx, UPS, or regular mail. It's just a little thing. It hasn't come. The Shacito. Grandma! Grandma! Where is she? She's not home. I really don't think she's home, Mom. She would probably be home by now. There? God, between you and my mom, between you and Grandma imagines people are knocking at the door at night and nobody's there and she's going to open the door. Well, you know what? If somebody's there, Mom, how about we don't open the door just in case it is somebody? Anybody knocking at the door in the middle of the night is not here for anything but ominous purposes. And you, it's not, I don't know what he's about. Nuts. He's nuts. You're nuts. You're nuts. 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 Cuckoo. Cuckoo. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Omar. Cuckoo. Cuckoo. No, apparently he thought he heard Grandma. It wasn't Grandma. Mama was asleep. I should have just put you out there to wait for Grandma. I think I'm going to do that, and I'm going back to bed. Mama's going to go back to bed.
Oh.
Yeah, no Grandma. No Grandmas. No Grandma. I showed you. There's no Grandma. I'm not making it up. It's not like I said there's no Grandma and you didn't get to see for yourself. Right? Right? Whole Dog Journal has a thing, you know. Might be worth me checking out, I don't know. Because you're never going to find anything like this at the library. You know what I mean? This is something you got to order from, like, online or something. But exactly what, you know, if you want to have your dog have a raw diet or something, exactly what to feed feed the dog, because, you know, people worry, and I've worried too, you know, you don't know if the dog's going to get all the nutrition it needs, you know, the dog needs if you give him a raw diet. I was thinking of looking into that. You want some carrots? Oh, my mama made carrots. I don't think they cooked enough. I had them on low because I was drinking, and, you know, I had them in a big pot of water on low in case for some reason I forgot about them or something. They wouldn't ever cause a fire, even if since it was the middle of the night. But and then I just shut them off, you know. But I was in here creating videos, and I shut the carrots off. I don't know if they cooked enough. I told you I did cooking in the middle of the night last night. Tonight my mom and I for dinner are going to have this quinoa brown rice garlic mixture that I would never buy on a regular basis. It's expensive. It's $3 for just this little package. I mean, but it's convenient. It's already made. You know, it's something you could just throw in a pan with some water and it cooks up fast. And I sauteed up spinach, baby spinach, all organic, of course, mushrooms, baby spinach. And then I put in hemp and flax and spices and whatnot. I told you this in another video, but, you know, in case you didn't watch that video or you're new and just stumbling across this video, or not, I'm just repeating myself, but I have a whole thing of onions. I need to do something with the onions. A whole thing of celery in there. I need to do something with the celery. It's better to just get stuff cooked and then freeze it. I'm running out of room in the freezer, but because then it's all in the freezer, and the fridge and stuff gets filled up and stuff goes bad, so we forget about it. Forget that it's in there. Right, Omars? I love cooked onions, but I hate raw onions. I mean, I absolutely despise raw. Joe had me eating raw onions and garlic, raw garlic, because they're so good for you. But he makes it palatable. He taught me how to, you drown it in the dressing, Put the Bragg's apple cider vinegar and the Bragg's dressing, and you saturate it so the raw onions and garlic didn't bother me. He lives on that kind of stuff. And while I was staying there, I lived on that kind of stuff too. And like I said, I got all the way down at 153 at one point. That was after a day of fasting, so I went right back up, after eating it, but still. Right? You want some carrots on Mars? I just boiled up all the carrots. I had this big plans when I had originally bought the carrots, but of baking them. Baking carrots is supposed to be the best for you. Baking them, and then I had this awesome recipe for baked carrots with I had a recipe too for carrot ginger soup, but I had a recipe for baked carrots with chickpeas, like a crunchy topping or something. I buy those good beans, and I absolutely love them, by the way. My mom loves them too. I could be a spokesperson. Speaking of which, maybe I'll have some right now. I think I will. The cinnamon ones are the best. And cinnamon's really good for you. Cinnamon's very good for you. I love these good beans. They're not organic, but they're non-GMO. And, but they're little over $2, like $2.29, something like that, $2.30, $2.40. They have a package, and I could make my own. If I wasn't lazy, I could make my own. I've never done that, and I read about how to do that too. You can bake your own fucking chickpeas, and I have tons and tons and tons of cans, as you guys know. Also, if you know me, I have like probably 100. Maybe not now because I've used them, but I have a lot of cans of organic beans. If anything happens, we're still in September. Bad stuff's supposed to happen in September. My mom and I have enough food to survive. We have enough food right now. Even if the refrigerator crashed, all you need is a can opener and beans, and you survive as long as you have water. We have enough food. We have tons and tons and tons of food that doesn't have to be cooked. My mom and I would survive for months. Months! If something horrible happened, my mom and I could survive here for months. We have enough food to survive for months. That's just the nature of me. I stock up on stuff because I just like to do it. If stuff's on sale or whatnot, or if I get good deals with Vitacost and they're giving me, $30 off of whatever, or this, that, and, I stock up on stuff. And the beans I got, I think I got them at I got all those beans. If you were following me at my channel back then, I stocked up on all those beans Bobby drove me to the store, and, you know, I don't have him drive me to the store all the time, so, you know, they're only like $1 a can at Stop and Shop, so I got like 100 cans. That way I have them, and then I don't have to worry. Of course, then when all that shit went down with Bobby's, I had to lug all those cans, you know, I had to have the movers move them, and then they had to go to the storage unit, and yeah, etc., etc., etc. Oh, and I could survive for months. Months. A lot of food. And if we go buy all the food in the fridge, and the fridge didn't crash, my mama and I could literally, on the food that's in this house right now, survive for a year. I believe that. I mean, I do. Because there's so much soup in the fridge freezer, I mean. It's packed full. Between all that and all the stuff I have in the cabinets and whatnot, I believe my mom and I could survive here a year. A year. On just this food in the house. Which maybe is a good thing, because you just never know what happens in this life. You know? I don't know why he thought Grandma was home. Apparently he's nuts. All three of us, my mother, me, and all were all nuts. Three of us make a pair of something, huh, Mars? Even he's nuts. Aren't ya? Aren't ya? But I would leave it in a heartbeat, you know? You know, it's not a fulfilling existence. I'm lonely. As long as I would leave it as long as I knew my mom was okay. That's the key. And that she'd have to be okay. It was very enjoyable watching the Big Bang series. Season 8, Disc 1. I hadn't seen any of those episodes. Because even when my mom, and even though when the episodes were still going on and whatnot, and I wasn't having to go to the library anymore, etc., or I wasn't going until all hours, you know, I decided I just would rather wait till the disc came out and watch them all in a row, it's really fun, you know, than to watch some when I missed some. And they sent me two. I have no idea why Netflix has been so nice like that. They've been doing that. I guess, don't know why. They've sent me two, even though it's like I send two back, but that's because you've given me, I've had 3 out at once when I'm not supposed to ever. I'm only supposed to have 2 at a time. It's all I pay for. You know what I mean? I don't know why they do that. They tend to do it when I've had another disc for a long time. I think they trust that it's coming back. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not a Netflix brain. But now, like I said, I'm 1 envelope behind. I still need them to send me a freaking envelope. So maybe they're just not paying attention. Maybe it's like, okay, disc came back, we're getting another disc. And they have a thing right on your account, like, why do I have an extra disc? Well, at home. Well, we got one back and we said, yeah, but you shouldn't give me one until I only have 2 at a time. I mean, I'm only paying for 2 at a time. I mean, I appreciate what you're doing, but I don't know if it's, you know, good company policy-wise, if you're, you know, you make money out of sending the movies out, I don't know. Netflix is thinking about not having the at-home thing anymore anyway. So one of these days, it won't be available, probably. And you can't get even remotely as much on streaming it through your TV as you can getting it through the mail. There's just so much more available. You know, there's so much more available regarding, you know, older stuff, older documentaries and things like that. That would never be available through streaming. You know, so I like having a Netflix account. That's how I remember when I got that thing on, you know, Fed Up on obesity in America, and it was made in 2005, and now they re-released it, but it's still the same damn thing. They didn't make a new one, they just re-released it to promote it again or something. They re-released it, I don't know, a couple years ago. And I was watching an excerpt of the re-release, and it's the same thing. It needs to be updated, because it's only gotten worse. America, we've gotten heavier and heavier since 2005 when this was made, you know? 9 years ago. It's only getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. We are getting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier as a nation, people. And that's a fact. That is a fact. It's not good. Nothing's good. This world's fucked. This world is fucked. Hell in a handbasket, this world. Let's go to hell in a handbasket. People are asleep. Joe's not very nice. He wrote a poem called Glowbug Zombies. He's referring to most people. I'll spare you the details, but I don't remember them by heart anyway. I just remember that part. It's called Glowbug Zombies. And it's not complimentary, so... In his own way. I mean, Jay Leno used to do it. Jimmy Kimmel does it. Or maybe it's only Jay Leno used to do it, but you know, you'd find out how the average person is thinking or whatnot. Well, Alex Jones, that whole set, did it with people chose a fucking candy bar over $150 bar of silver. They chose the candy bar every time. You had a choice between the bar of silver or the candy bar, and people chose the candy bar just about every time. Because people don't understand that a bar of silver is more valuable, even, you know, if the economy collapses or whatnot, more valuable than paper money. They chose the fucking candy bar over the bar of silver. And Alex Jones did that just to prove a point, you know. I watched it. Joe shared it with me. I wouldn't know otherwise. Remember, I'm aware of a lot of shit in this life only because Joe's still in my life after 20 years, you know. And because he progressed from being a Jehovah's Witness, you know. But while we were together, he went back and forth, back and forth. He was conflicted. Does he want to be a witness? Does he not want to be a witness, you know? And of course, in the end, as a Jehovah's Witness, he has to ask me to marry him. He can't be living with me. You know what I mean? Joe's pure. Joe doesn't do something and then, you know, he's going to follow it. He's not going to be a hypocrite or whatnot, you know. So, anyway. like zombies. I know, Joe, I hear ya. Woman in LAX, where I'm refusing to go for the full body scanner, so I have to be patted down. Forgets that the new rule is that her supervisor has to watch her do it, so I got it done to me twice. And Joe later said to me, yeah, they violated your rights. They committed a felony on you twice. How did they commit a felony on me, Joe? Because touching you against your will and the whole 9 yards, it's all just... But I had no choice but to go along with it. What am I supposed to do? I want to come home, you know? You think I was going to put up a stink? Before I knew it, in this world, if I put up a stink, I'd be down on the ground with handcuffed or something, you know? So I went along with it, but it was sick. I had to have the exact same thing done to me again because she forgot that their TSA's new rule is that she needs to, probably because she's new to it, you know. It's probably something where you probably don't have to be watched forever, but if you're new, and I could tell she was new, she was nervous, and you know, I did what I won't do again if I fly. I wore a skirt, but I had the shorts on under it, but then, you know, if the skirt's not lifted up, she has to go all the way up to my leg, and she accidentally brushed across my crotch, and then she had to do it again for her supervisor. I did say to him, he was a fucking asshole. I said, you know, I've done this 4 other times, and they didn't have to be watched. It's a new policy. So she did it again in front of him. So I got violated twice in front of the whole airport, but I'm making a stand, I'm making a point by not going through that scanner. Not to mention the fact that people in Joe's world, which he's more a part of that world than even I am, I'm like on the outskirts of it, and Joe's really, and believes 100% that those full body scanners cause cancer, okay? But maybe they do. But for me, it's just principle alone. I'm not going through the damn full body scanner. Coming here in Boston, you know, from Boston Airport, going to LAX, I didn't even have to go through the full body scanner, but then people in the line next to me did. So that proves how arbitrary it is. You see how fucked this world is? It's fucked, people. If it's so important, these full body scanners, then that means every single person who ever flies ever since the invention of the full body scanner should have to go through the full body scanner or be patted down. No. I didn't have to go through the full body scanner and didn't have to be patted down. Nobody in my line did, but the next line over did. That's arbitrary. It's bullshit. Just like coming back was bullshit, arbitrary. Just like I had to have it done to me twice. I had to be violated twice. Okay? And that's reality. And I asked Joe about it. He's like, because it really is meaningless, Laura. It's meant to make us into sheeples where we'll just be obedient and do whatever and never question it. And Joe gave an analogy. You know, what if you just had to walk down X street, and you noticed people being punched for no reason by somebody? Just punched in the arm, punched hard. And you're walking down that street and you don't get punched. And you see other people getting punched, and you see, like, why am I not getting punched? Because it's all just ridiculous. It's just chance. It's whatever, and you're never going to know. You're not going to know walking down that street. You just know some people get punched, some people don't get punched, and you don't know if you're going to get punched or not. Well, it's the same thing with those full-body scanners. I was naive enough to think that they are important, and then coming here from Boston Airport on the 24th of August, 2015, and I had a night flight, okay? I did not have to go through that full-body scanner. Coming back, I was violated twice from the LAX TSA woman because she forgot. And her supervisor came over. She goes, oh, I was supposed to get you, wasn't I? And by the way, if he's really busy, if he's a friggin' supervisor or manager or whatnot, that's going to make it even more difficult for me or anybody to catch our flight. You know what I mean? I got there when they were already boarding and whatnot, and I was like, you know, it's gonna make it difficult if she has to go find him when I need to be patted down. She did it again. She apologized. He didn't care. You know, he came over. She's like, oh, I was supposed to have you watch me, huh? He's like, yeah. She looks at me, she's like, sorry, I have to do it all over again. Oh my God. Inside I'm thinking, this is the most ridiculous fucking thing imaginable. I said to him, I go, I've done this 4 times before in my life, and that never happened. It's a new policy. And she proceeded to do it all over again, because remember, she was done. I had to have it all done again while he watched. While he stood there and watched her do it. There are also people who think that they get off on it. You know, I'm an attractive woman or whatnot. He got to stand there and watch her go up under my breast and up in my crotch, and you know what I mean, and pat me all down, and he was probably wishing he could do it. I swear to God. But of course he can't. But he got to watch close up, and she'd already done it once. I had to have it done again. So, you know. This world's full of just ridiculousness. It's just ridiculous, and it's getting worse. You know? And people are just obedient, and they just do whatever, and, you know, they don't question anything. Most people. Hence Joe's glow bug zombies. Right, Omars? And that's reality. I know it's all out there. I forget when I'm in my own little world in here, you know. But then I do things like fly to LA and I learn, you know. I learned firsthand what I only read about via John Rappaport and Mike Adams and Alex Jones sometimes if Joe shares something with me. You know what I mean? I learn firsthand everything that's going on. If I do something like fly, and then I learn all what's going on with the TSA and all that bullshit, you know. It's all bullshit. It really is. I know I said I wasn't going to be doing this anymore, and I won't be. I really won't be. I need to be going to bed at a reasonable hour every night, but I'm gonna start tracking it. I'm gonna track how much I sleep. I'm gonna try to get in a thing where I'm in bed and by midnight every night. And I need to clean up this room, as you can see. Clean up the room. So today you got videos from me simply because, and yesterday, because I was drinking yesterday, and today I'm a little bit hungover and I don't feel like doing anything. So if I wasn't creating videos, I wouldn't be doing anything else. So that's that. But just because I'm creating videos is a little bit different than interacting with you guys and approving comments and dealing with inevitably my enemy fucking with me. You know, I have to be prepared for that. There's nothing I could do about that, and I really don't want to. I'm not going to read the comments from my enemies anymore. I can tell, first of all, if it says Chad Kruger, then I know it's from my enemy. I'm not even going to read it. I'm going to copy and paste it without reading it, because I save everything, and put it to WordPad, and then delete it, and I'm not reading it anymore, okay? And just so you guys know, just like Stoney said, did you check out Chad Kruger's nose job? No, I don't study this man. I don't want to know. I don't want to know about any love in his life either, okay? I don't want to hear it from any of you, okay? I don't want to hear about it. I just want to forget that he even exists. I only bought the Star magazine. I said to add it to my Playboy because I'm forever intertwined with his existence simply because of my own insanity years ago, you know what I mean? So I figured, why not? Why not? Since I have the Playboy where the woman, it's featuring the woman that he'd never made his wife, even after being with her literally for 7-8 years, 5 or 6. Actually, it was 5 at the time and 8. He didn't leave her right then. It was like 6 years as her fiance, and never, married her. And then the woman he made his wife way too fast, and it's over in 2 years. And I don't know how soon after they met they got married. I remember hearing something that he proposed to her very fast. How soon after that they got married, I don't know. I don't understand any of it, and it didn't last, It's just, so it's one extreme and the other extreme. Again, I'm not going to cry a river for him, believe me. I'm lonely as fucking hell. He's, by virtue of just fate, he was born into this, you know what I mean? He can have another woman in his bed. He can have any woman in his bed he wants, anytime he wants. And he'll have another love in his life just like that, okay? So would I cry a river that his marriage didn't last when I'm fucking, so lonely, and would be happy just to have, a couple of people in my everyday life that I could, relate to, talk to. I wouldn't mind if having an FWB either, so long as it was an FWB relationship like what I had with Doug when I was in my 20s, So I'm not crying a river for Chad Kroeger. He shouldn't have married her in the first place. Not that quickly anyway, Right on, Mars? Not gonna cry a river for him, believe me. And he is blessed in every way imaginable. It's not perfect in that world, but blessed in every way imaginable compared to someone like me, you know what I mean? And he knows how blessed he is. He said as much in the fucking Playboy interview. Only he knows why it had been 5 years and he'd never married Marianne, He apparently changed his mind, but still stayed with her. I don't know. And then I don't know the details of what happened with Kristen, because I understandably, once I found out about Kristen, I had vowed to never listen to another. I kept my vow till all these years, till now, till a few months ago, whatever. I knew nothing about what was going on with that man. Didn't know he had left Kristen, didn't know anything about Avril Lavigne until I saw it on the fucking magazine cover, and my friend Tabitha Nazi pointed it out also. Because she wanted to make a point. See? He's with somebody now who's just like him. He's with a fellow artist. Oh, good for him. I'm happy for him. I created a video that I was happy for him, Happy for him, and that, you'd think it was the love of his life. Because he married her, proposed to her so damn quickly, One would think. Huh, Omars? Wouldn't one think that, Omar? I know I did. I couldn't be more shocked right now that they're over with, if they really are over with. Chris Ragnags can announce this, that, or whatever. They're separated, and then before you know it, they're back together. So, But either Colin or Stoney, one of them. I think it was Stoney Jenkins. Might have been Colin, though. Colin loves watching my videos. He gets a kick out of it's like they're great to watch when you're stoned or something. But anyway, one of those two who like me, they can think I'm nuts and like me anyway, said, I think it was Stoney, that, well, Avril came down with a really bad case of Lyme disease, and she was really sickly, and this, that, whatever. Maybe he couldn't deal with it. All right. I think he's scum for cheating on the women with whom he gets seriously involved or whatnot, but, he can't be, he's not a monster. That would make him a monster if he just didn't, was going to dump his wife because, what about in sickness and in health? He's going to dump his wife because she gets sick. I mean, that would make him really, really a bad person. And I really, really, really don't want to think that the person who wrote all those beautiful songs, especially Saving Me or whatnot, is that bad of a person, And I don't. I wrote to Stoney, I'm like, I don't think that was why. I heard they fought all the time. I don't understand how you get married and fight all the time, but when you're together and not married, you're not fighting all the time. But it also has to do with that Chad Kroeger probably it's jealousy, and he's not capable of being faithful to anybody when he's on the road and faced with temptation constantly. So perhaps when they were remember, they got together, Chad Kroeger and Avril Lavigne, because she was in his house all the time, and he was helping her work on her latest album. They were collaborating, I guess, something like that. And they fell for each other hard, and he proposed quickly. From what I read in that Odd Couples thing, he proposed to her, and she'd never even met his mom, never even met his parents or whatnot, and then before you know it, they're married. And I think the trouble is if he goes on tour. But I don't know. According to that, Star Magazine, it was saying that they and even that thing I read online, accidentally stumbled across it, they were at the very end. There was like 29 other odd Hollywood couples, mismatched, or how people outside views them as you don't expect them to be together, get together, whatnot. I didn't know that Chad and Avril would be in that. I just, I read some of that fluff sometimes, I also read really serious articles on MSN and whatnot, but I like the fluff too. Remember, I have all different sides to me, and I become fascinated by that world. But it said that it was like a year into their marriage, they were already fighting like cats and dogs, and there was talk of separation, apparently, when they'd only been married a year. So I go back to the same thing. Why the fuck did they get married in the first place? How can it be so wonderful that you want to marry somebody and then be horrible once you're married? It doesn't make sense to me, okay? But that Star Magazine that I showed you in the other video, they said that's what they were saying too, that they got back from their honeymoon in France and were already fighting. I don't understand. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. How things can be so wonderful that you want to marry somebody, and then you get married and it all goes downhill. Why? Anybody wants to shed some insight into this, be my guest. Like real insight. And not regarding Chad Kroeger and Avril Lavigne, regarding just that. How can it be so wonderful that you want to marry somebody and you go through with it, and then you get married and it's all just constant fighting and all downhill and whatever? Doesn't make sense, does it, Omar? Mama would like to understand. She doesn't. She doesn't understand. She thought he proposed so quickly to Avril Lavigne and they got married, not long, I guess. I don't know how long. I don't know that exact. I don't know when they met and when they got married, that time frame. I just know it wasn't, even if it was a year. I know they got married in July of 13. I never knew that. The only reason I know that is because that Odd Couple thing said it. But it didn't say that he proposed to her. I only know they met in 12, got married in 13. So, but even then, it's still, they got married quickly, after meeting. Because they definitely met in 2012 and got married in 2013. And I'm not going to go about to go research it. You think I'm about to go research anything and be faced with, you know, in that world, they don't even wait. You know, they already, in that world, they, you know, like I said in the comment sarcastically, I'm not going to cry a river. Before you know it, he'll be, you know, just like that. He'll forget all about his ill-fated marriage to Avril Lavigne, and he'll have a new love in his life, and he'll, you know, and before that, he'll be bedding women left and right because that's what he does. That's his modus operandi. That's Jack Kruger's modus operandi. But I am fascinated by it because I didn't expect it. I don't follow them. I didn't know they were fighting all the time, and I thought, you know, he didn't marry the other two that he was with for years, particularly Marianne, and then you'd think this one's the love of his life, you would think. I would think, as an outside observer, and I would think that regardless. If I just studied this man, forget about the stupid delusion that was just so stupid on multiple levels, okay? Including the fact that I could never be with anybody like that who goes on tour. I'm not talking about Jack Kruger, I'm talking about anybody who goes on tour for months and months and months, that we're separated for months and months and months at a time, okay? If I'm with a guy, I want him in my bed every fucking night. I want to be able to curl up next to him every night. That just wouldn't work for me, ever. So we'll set all that aside. If I was just examining this man, you would think Avril Lavigne would have been the one, the love of his life, the whatever. Because he proposed so quickly, married her so quickly, and he didn't do that with the other two. And he went back to back, you know? So maybe he's wised up and he'll just date. I don't know. Don't know. But as a, you know, I can examine it, because none of it really makes any sense. So, as far as I'm concerned, most things about this life don't make any sense anyway, so. And as I'm creating these videos, they could be reconciled, you know, changing their minds, deciding to make it work and whatnot. It's not like they're divorced. They're just separated. I don't know. This life's very strange. Right, Omar? Grandpa's gonna be home soon. No, she's not home! Come here! She's not home. I said she's gonna be home soon. Come here. Come on. Come on. Omar. Where's Grandma? Where's Grandma? Where is she? I use that to trick you. I know you hate being in my arms because you don't like it. You're stubborn and you don't like anything like that. Look. Is that Grandma in the camera? Look. Look. Where's Grandma? No, I want you to look at the camera. I want you to look at the camera. Look. Broccoli. No, look at the camera. No, Omar, look at the camera. Look. I'm trying to get her to look at the camera. Look at this. Look. I just like you to look at the camera. Say hi to your fans. My mama's gonna be home. Time to stop creating videos. I need to take care of the carrots. I need to make the onions. You know, I never found that little portable stereo thing. I don't know what happened to it. It's in that mess somewhere. I have to find my credit card and my license. I know I had them at home. I'm not worried that they're like out there somewhere, you know. Plus, I took all the money out and put it in my savings, and nothing's attached to my savings. Like I told the woman at the bank, I'm like, yeah, I only want a couple hundred in this account, and that's because I was going to go to the mall, you know. And I don't want to carry cash, and I want a couple hundred, and just it needs to be in my savings. Nothing's attached to my savings, so I don't have to worry. You guys know I went to the mall. I created videos from the mall. That was the day I became that woman's guardian angel. Guardian angel! Poor woman in the Macy's bathroom and shit and pissed her pants and... which I didn't know. Is anyone out there? Yeah, I'm here. Can you help me? Yeah, I was washing my hands. I'd gotten out of the bathroom. She's like, what do you want? Well, I had a little accident, and I need you to get a Macy's person. Will you go get a Macy's person for me so they can call my daughter? I'm like, what happened? She's like, incontinence. I'm like, oh. She wanted her daughter to bring her pants. Well, you'd think she would know. I guess maybe her daughter... You'd think she'd know when her daughter's working or whatnot. I don't know, but... And I said, oh, I have a cell phone. You can use my cell phone. I mean, I'll call your daughter. So I called her daughter. And her daughter doesn't understand why I'm a total stranger. Your mom's in the Macy's bathroom, and she needs you to bring her pants, blah, 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 blah. And the woman's like, huh, who are you? I'm like, you know what? I said, you know what? I'm going to handle my phone over. I went over the door to you. Just please don't drop my phone in the toilet, okay? Remember, I had no idea who she was. I hadn't seen her or anything. She's just somebody behind the door. So I gave her my phone, and she's telling her daughter, and then she's like, now we're going even further. Now I'm a real guardian angel. My daughter can't come. She's at work. She can't bring me pants. Okay. Can you please go buy me pants? You want me to go buy you pants? Yeah. Alright, I'll go buy you pants. How do I know what your size is? She's like, I wear a medium size or a size 12. I'm like, okay, but, I mean, this is a big thing. I don't know what fucking pants to get her. What kind? She goes, they're like sweatpants. They're the Macy's brand. And I'm like, I don't know any Macy's brand. I only know INC, and that's high class Macy's. That's upscale Macy's brand. And she goes, it begins with an S. Oh, alright. Well, so I went and talked to one saleswoman, and she said, oh, that's probably Styling Company. I said, okay, where is that? That's downstairs. Okay. So then I talked to that one in the Styling Company, and I explained the situation. She's like, oh, that's really sad. And I said to her, I'm like, incontinence is just pee-pee, right? She's like, yeah, usually, whatever, it's just pee-pee. Well, I found out afterwards. I asked the woman after I bought her, she gave me $40. She looked at it and run off with the $40, and I said to her, when I got her the pants, I said, are you still in here? How horrible. She shit, and she had incontinence, and she's trapped in the Macy's bathroom. That's just horrible. And that could happen to my mom, you know? I told my mom this story, and she's like, how old was she? I'm like, Mom, you don't have incontinence when you're young. She's like a senior citizen. What do you think? And when I brought her the pants, she was so grateful. And I said, are you still in it? She's like, yeah, I'm still here. She didn't know. I said, and when I finally got to meet her, she came out. She's like, these are awesome. I'm like, yeah, the Macy's woman, the saleswoman, I explained the situation. She helped me pick them out. We decided we didn't know if you'd want one with a string or not with a string. She's like, yeah, I bought the same ones last week. You know, similar, but I like these much better. And I like these better than even the ones I bought. And she came out, and I got to meet her, and she was so thankful and whatnot. And but remember, to give her the pants, she opened up the door, and I got to meet her, and I tried to give her a change. She's like, no, I want you to keep it. I'm like, I don't want your money. I don't need to be rewarded for doing this for you. I felt bad for you. And she's like, please, please, I really, really want you to have it. And there are situations where somebody, I know those situations where you really want to reward somebody for being so nice to you. So she wanted me to have the $15. And then she was so grateful. So, you know, and maybe in my curious self, I asked her, I'm like, and Con, this is just pee-pee? And she's like, no, I did the other two. I'm like, oh. And I said, what would you have done if I couldn't do this, or if I didn't come back? Or she's like, I know, I was taking my chances. What else could I do? I'm trapped in here. And then I said, well, I'm glad I could help you. And what would you have done if nobody could do this? She's like, I would have just had to go out like that. She didn't want to. It's embarrassing. This is not winter. We have a winter coat, people. Who wants to walk around with... And she's like, oh, well, I washed it out the best I could. You know, I guess the poo-poo. And since you have to take your pants off, I'm assuming she did it with the toilet water. She's like, I washed it out best I could. I would have just had to go out to my car through the mall like that. And that's humiliating, and she didn't want to do it, so it was worth a stranger possibly running off with her $40. But I think she already knew that I wouldn't do that, that I'm not like that. I mean, I'd already gone above and beyond. I had offered her, I let her use my phone instead of going to get a Macy's associate, which I, you know, have her off my hands. I'll go get someone else to help you. And no, I helped her. And I saw it through, and, you know, I did a good thing. I did a good thing. And I'm not patting myself on the back because it's what anybody should do, but nowadays I don't know. Nowadays someone might have just run off with her money. Sad to say, but true. Even someone nice enough who went that far to use the phone might deep down not be that nice and need money and would have run off with the $40. And that would have been the end of that. She would have no recourse. She doesn't know who I am. I could have run off with her $40. I never would. Just because I wouldn't doesn't mean somebody else would. You know what I mean? So I told this story in a long video I created that night when I was drunk, and I showed you my bra and whatnot. But a lot of people probably didn't watch that or watch it through or you know, so this is a shorter video, I think. Maybe not. I lose track of time. I need to have a watch when I'm creating these videos so I can create shorter videos. But that's the story anyway.